your tears if you can't catch me, darling. If you can't catch me, darling. Don't cry, snowman, don't leave me this way. A bottle of water can't hold me close, baby. Can't hold me close, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero, right from the sun. I love you forever, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me, yeah. My snowman and me, baby. Don't cry, snowman, don't you fear the sun. Who'll carry me without legs to run, without legs to run, honey. And don't cry, snowman, don't you shed a tear. Oh, you're my secrets if you don't have ears, baby. If you don't have ears, baby. I want you to know that I'm never leaving, 'cause I miss the snow till death will be freezing. Yeah, you are my home for all seasons. So come on, let's go. Let's go below zero, right from the sun. I love you forever, we'll have some fun. Yes, let's hit the North Pole and live happily. Please don't cry no tears now, it's Christmas, baby. My snowman and me, yeah. My snowman and me, baby.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where those treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. be white. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright. And may all your Christmases be white.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what part of the world you're in. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. So quite a few things going on this week. We've got quite a few videos going out. I just posted the tour of our equipment room here at Night Studios. So hopefully all of you got a chance to watch that. That's the new episode of Nightlight. Now, we are actually releasing several videos this week. I know it's Thursday, but there'll be a new Nightlight episode coming out today. That is my color psychology and color theory video that I will be covering. And so there's that. And that's roughly about an hour long. So there'll be that video coming out today. And then tomorrow, I will be releasing another video. And that's going to be our vlog of Mel and I attending the American film market. So that's what's going on. Hopefully all of you can tune in, watch those videos, give it a like, give it a subscribe. I just wanted to also update all of you. Let me pull off this caption. It's kind of distracting. So Mel is actually in a meeting right now, so she can't produce this morning. But also the Hyperdeck Studio arrived. So I'm really excited about that. There's a lot going on here as far as purchases are concerned. Sorry, I'm trying to relink all my videos right now. So there's a lot of purchases going on right now. We're just capitalizing on a lot of the Black Friday and holiday sales that are going on here in the United States. So we're super excited about that. We did purchase the Hyperdeck 4K Studio. Now, what the Hyperdeck Studio does, for those of you who are not aware and maybe not have seen that short that I posted to YouTube last night, is it's basically an appliance, right? A rack mount appliance with a screen on it, and it allows you to both record and play back. It's typically used in broadcast and live streams. So you basically bring in your different camera sources, whether it's SDI or HDMI. So having a multicam setup, bringing that into the Hyperdeck, and the Hyperdeck will actually record it to SSDs. Now, Blackmagic also sells, actually, why don't I do this? Let me just kind of show all of you, because we will be doing an unboxing. So I want to show all of you what this actually looks like. So if you go to Blackmagic Design, you're probably wondering why I'm actually going to be buying this. So I want to kind of go over it with all of you. I know a lot of you are in the process of building up your gear and figuring out what it is that you need to buy. And so I think sometimes just look, all of you know our story. Mel and I came from cybersecurity. I'm a former hacker. I spent the last 23 years in cybersecurity. I had no idea what the hell a Hyperdeck was. So a lot of this may be very German, very German to all of you. So I want to kind of demystify some of this stuff for you. So this is a Hyperdeck. Now they have both a 4K and an 8K version. They also have a Hyperdeck Extreme Mini that if you don't have the budget for something like this or this, there's a smaller version that doesn't actually have this big screen on it. But what the Hyperdeck basically allows you to do is it will actually drive signage. So electronic signage on buildings are often run by these sort of devices. This Hyperdeck Extreme, for example, can drive this sign on a building for digital signage. You can also convert legacy programming for streaming. So, if you have old VHS tapes or what have you, it can handle conversions for streaming that as well. It's basically a record and playback device. Now, the neat thing about this is it records it to these SSDs. So if you scroll up here, hopefully all of you can see my screen. I probably should have asked you if all of you can see my screen. All right. So, if you see right here, you can see these these drives right here. These SDs right here. Is it SSD? I'm trying to remember. I do know it supports USB-C. No, sorry, those are CFast. Sorry. So CFast cards. Now, if you don't want to go CFast, what I ended up doing was I'm actually using USB-C disk recording. Now, I'm not, while you can just hook up an SSD over USB-C, this is the back of it. And I'm going to explain what this is in a moment because I actually have the same setup. But here's your SDI in and out. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to buy this for our production set and plug our Airy, our Red cameras, all of our cameras in. And then we could go SDI out to video monitors, client monitors, my director's monitor. But what we're doing, and in addition to that, you also have XLR input as well. So in addition to recording and playing back video, it can also record and play back audio as well. So think of this kind of like a translator or a Rosetta Stone that sits in between your audience, whether it's a live audience or just recording, playing a disc and not playing it back, or that, and those video sources. So your cinema camera's right here. And now USB-C external disk, they've got that going to this, and I'll explain this in a minute because we bought this as well. It's basically a rack mount of SSDs. So it's super cool. The plan for us, and the neat thing is obviously you can also live grade with this thing as well, having DaVinci Resolve and a mini panel here on the side with connectivity while you are perhaps streaming a show. If you're broadcasting a show live, this would also work for that as well. It does have built-in scopes, so for those of you who love like myself love scopes and want to make sure that all of your scopes are there. Sorry, just want to make sure some chats are coming in. I want to make sure everyone can see. Hey Sasha, hello France. Awesome. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Mark. Hey, Nigeria. How you doing? So it does support 12G, which is 4K. And I'm just super excited about this. Now, the original plan, let me show you this multi-dock, the multi-dock 12G. So that is actually right there. Let me show you the actual product. The multi-dock. There it is. I was actually surprised how cheap it was. It's not that expensive. So this basically sits right on top of the hyperdeck and the rack mount cage. So what you do is, now there's two configurations. There's an A configuration where A would basically utilize both these two SSD ports and those two SSD ports for a total of 4. Or you can you can stripe it where first it's that drive, then that drive, then that drive, then that drive. And it's basically, instead of broken up into these individual A and B configurations, where you use like 2 at a time. Let's say, for example, you want one camera to record to B and you want one camera to record to A. With this configuration, you can actually just record to all of them and I guess stripe them, for your lack of a better word, across all the drives. So it's very configurable as far as how you record. And I ended up buying, I want to say, the 4 terabyte drives. So that's going to be a total of 16 terabytes. Now with our setup, the way we're doing it, let me turn off screen sharing, give you guys a break from that. So what we're doing, hey Mel. Mel's joined us now. So the way we're doing it is we decided to now. Oh, I want to make one thing very clear to all of you. You're like, yes, I want to buy this. I should totally do this. We don't have to run to individual cameras. When the cards fill up, give them new cards. Our DIT can actually drive everything from this one single location on the set. The thing with the HyperDeck is it doesn't allow you, obviously, to record in RAW. All right. So, while this would have been perfect for production, we would have been having instead of having Airy RAW and Red RAW, those will actually be streaming to the HyperDeck, and the HyperDeck will be writing it as ProRes. So it does ProRes 422 HQ. Now, while HQ is obviously very high quality, it's not the same as having an Airy RAW file or a red raw file for color grading. And a lot of the streaming platforms, whether, if you're like Netflix, HBO Max, that sort of thing, if they're, if you're doing a production for those platforms, they do require actual raw files, whether it's raw, red raw or airy raw. So we lose that sort of that detail, that the advantage of being able to shoot an airy raw is gone by using this hyperdeck. So you're thinking, okay, well, then why buy this? Why have this? Well, here's the thing. Hey, Willie, good to see you. Here's the thing with that. Okay. With that situation, we decided, okay, let's go ahead and still order this, because within our house, as many of you know, we have 3 different recording studios in our house. So there's Studio A, which is where I'm in. Mel is in Studio B, and then we have Studio C downstairs. And each studio has like 2 to 3 cameras in it, right? We've got overheads, we've got camera A, we've got camera B. So we have all these cameras. And when I'm recording videos, how nice, how lovely is it to be able to not have to feed chips into each individual camera, and then have to deal with all of that media and dumping all that media. Instead, we're going to actually run every single camera in this Studio A and Studio B and Studio C. We're going to run all those cameras up to our HyperDeck studio and have everything just go to one place. Now, the neat thing about this is that when you hit record on the HyperDeck, it actually hits record on all of these cameras. So, it'll allow us to be able to control with a single record button and have everything just kind of start up and going. Now, I don't know if that's just with the Blackmagic cameras. Like, I don't know if you have to use Blackmagic cameras to do that, but I will try it and report back to all of you how that goes. All right. So that is here. We're going to be doing an unboxing. Mel's making me wait until Christmas morning to open it. So she's not allowing me to open it early. So unfortunately, all of you have to wait until December 26th before I can open that and do an unboxing video, or December 25th, I should say. Probably release on the 26th. We also have the Flanders Scientific DM 160. So I'm super excited about that. All of you may have seen that short that I posted on my YouTube channel. We did order the DM160 from Flanders. Now, unfortunately, and I apologize about this, I actually had no idea that Flanders Scientific was actually running a sale. I had no idea. So they were offering $1,000 off of the DM160, both the DM160 and the DM160 field package. And so unfortunately, I found out about it that afternoon and immediately posted that short. And I want to say, like, maybe a few hours later, the sale was gone. So I'm hoping that all of you, because several of you reached out and said, Alyssa, I'm buying a grading reference monitor. What do I buy? What do you recommend? For those of you who were shopping for a monitor and were taking my recommendations for Flanders Scientific, hopefully you got that short video in time. Hopefully you were able to capitalize on that. I have never seen Flanders Scientific run a sale. It's, for me, it's kind of like, Louis Vuitton running a sale. It just doesn't happen. You don't see it. It's very rare for a company like Flanders to be doing a sale like that, especially with $1,000 off. So it basically took the monitor from being, I want to say it was $4,500 for the DM160. It brought it down to $3,500. So it was a really good price to be able to get in on. So, all right. So I know that we are going to be doing more editing today. We're going to be working on the previous episode, the first episode of whatchamacallit. Hold on, let me share my screen, of Dark Ops. Okay, so however, we have a media offline issue, and which obviously is not fun. And the reason for that is because I was moving files and directories around on my NAS. So and as many of you know, I have 25 gig fiber going to my, let me just make sure everyone can see right now. Let me make sure the configuration is good. Okay. So, as many of you know, I have 25 gig fiber going directly to my Mac Studio from downstairs where our NAS appliances are. And unfortunately, the NAS on the first NAS appliance is at like 99% utilization. So we are almost completely out of space. And so I've been deleting duplicate files and going through that whole process, but I'm rearranging them and putting everything into, for those of you who've heard of the para method from Tego Forte, I'm using the para method and I'm putting any current productions in the projects folder, and I'm putting everything else in archive. Now, because these are these actually should live in the archive folder, I moved everything into archive and it just basically broke everything. So let's kind of work through that and troubleshoot that together, because this is production life and not everything goes to plan. I want to help all of you figure out how to fix something like this. Now, one of the things I will tell you is that, let me go to the directory. Let's see, file path. There we go. One of the things that you'll notice, or at least I noticed in previous versions of DaVinci Resolve, is there's actually three ways to fix broken files. There's this up here where you click that and it will tell you everything that's missing and it will help you fix that problem, right? Or you can highlight everything, right click, and go to, you can unlink selected clips, you can relink them, and then you can change source folder. Now, I don't know, let me know in the comments, everyone, if you've experienced this before and run into this, but relink selected clips had some kind of bug in it, where if you relinked it, what it would do is it would take the current path and it would append a new path on top of it. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem was, but it seemed to manifest itself when there was a path already in there and if something didn't have a path. So if I took these two files and I right clicked and I said relink, it would basically append the path on top of this directory, and it would be so broken, of course. And then for this one, it would actually put the path there. So what I ended up having to do was I noticed that I could get around that bug by right-clicking and saying change source folder. And so you would see, for example, the old source folder, and then either this would be blank, or if it was blank, it would show blank on both. And then I would just go in there and have to individually change those one by one to the new folder, because this change source folder wouldn't work if two different files were in two completely different directories. So it's a total cluster. But let's kind of go through here and see if we can work on fixing this. So I'm going to right click and let's just try a regular. We can either do a replace selected clip, which can be dangerous because you can replace it with the wrong clip, or we can just simply unlink that and we can relink it. Now, I moved everything to the archive directory. Right now, it's looking for everything in Volumes Media, Videos, Projects, Tego Dark Ops Part 1. So that's where the old file used to live. So we can go in here and we could just change this. Let's try relink first and see if that issue manifests itself again. So, right now we are in archive. I've put everything in production, series, Dark Ops, and then part 1. This would be part 1, and then this would be A roll. So if we try and do that, and it's going to check all the subfolders and see if it can find it.
We had an incoming question from Mark regarding, are you using SDI or HDMI fiber cable to connect to the HyperDeck?
Ooh, good question. So we're using SDI. So right now, this camera that all of you are seeing me through right now, camera A, is a red Komodo. So that is SDI. All of the cameras, I know it's ridiculous. We use red cameras for live streams and for YouTube. It's ridiculous, but go big or go home. so that's SDI. We also have, so we have multiple Komodos. We do have Sony A7S3s, which are HDMI. But a majority of the cameras that you're going to see in each individual studio are all SDI. So the answer to your question is SDI. We will bring in the A7S3s and hook those also up with HDMI. And it looks like DaVinci Resolve crashed. Gotta love it. So I'm going to quit DaVinci. I'm going to reopen it. So for those of you, SDI, majority of the cameras are SDI, and then we've got the A7S3s, which are HDMI. Now, if we wanted to, we could use, let me see if I have it. There's a converter. Where's that converter at? Yeah, so I don't know if any of you have purchased this before, but it's a mini converter, HDMI and SDI. This is 6G. I have 12Gs as well. So we'll probably convert the Sony A7S3s to SDI using this guy. And they have a two-way as well, but basically you go HDMI in on this side, and then it converts it to SDI. So if you don't have this, I would recommend it. I don't know about you, all of you, but I hate HDMI. There are so many devices we have in our studio that are HDMI, and I swear to God, it feels like because of the weight of the SDI cable that the port's going to break or the cable's going to break. I just hate HDMI. There's a reason why cinema cameras don't have HDMI ports on them. It's just, they can come out, they can fall out. I have HDMI cables falling out all the time. This is your best friend. And honestly, everyone, these aren't that expensive. So just an FYI. All right. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Let's go back to let's go to archive. Episode 1, Dark Ops Full. So, DaVinci Resolve will crash on you. All right. Let's see if we can deal with this situation here. All right. So right now it's on proxies. Let's disable all proxies, at least for now. All right, so relink didn't work. I don't know if all of you saw that, but to me, if I'm trying to relink it, it should have worked. I don't know why it didn't work. I'm gonna right click now and try change source folder. This is that relink, excuse me for the French, but bullshit and I just wish, DaVinci Resolve keeps coming out with these new versions and all of these new features. I just wish, give me a thumbs up if all of you agree. I just wish that DaVinci Resolve would just stop adding new features and just friggin' focus on squashing bugs. There are so many bugs that seems to just keep coming into new versions. This relink thing is so flaky. It's just a real problem if you have to change folders and files around. All right. So let's go to archive.
Another incoming question from King Kruk Gaming. Are you upgrading the OG Motos to KX?
Oh, that's a good question. Mel and I are very intrigued by the Komodo X. Here's the thing, I didn't see enough of a reason to upgrade to the Komodo X. I want to say, keep me honest here, but I think they changed the sensor. I think there's a new sensor. But I mean, these Komodos are perfectly fine for us, especially since, we're just using them in our studios right now. We do actually bring them to set and use them as additional camera angles. But I don't know. I really didn't see a huge compelling reason to sell off our Komodos and buy the Komodo X's. The other thing, for those of you who are interested, we are actually partnering with another studio who we're actually going to be doing some co-productions on with. Who we are starting a new rental company. So we're going to start renting out cinema equipment. And so for those of you who are interested in our glass or our cameras and renting it, we will be offering rentals very soon. So these Komodos will probably be hitting those shelves. All right. All right, so let's try this. Change the source folder. So I should be able to just change it to that new location. And look at that. The file path isn't changing. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but this is just the weirdest thing. I don't know why it's happening. It's not updating the path. Did all of you see that? It's still leaving it in media, videos, projects. So if I right click and say change source folder, it should be changing it to that new archive folder. Productions. So we're in archive productions series Dark Ops Part 1, and then open, change. It's not changing it. Look at that. You see what I'm talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Bugs in DaVinci. Black magic. If you're watching this video, please just stop adding new features and fix these bugs. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only editor who's had to change folder structures before. All right, so let's try, everybody, let's try a replace selected clip. And because this is really kind of like the final option we have here. And let's just type in, so let's make sure we're in the right directory. Let's go to media. Let's see. Actually, let's do this. Let's go to NightNaz1. Archive. Oh.
You posted some documentation on that, on different commands, if you want to check out the comments, Alyssa.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Fast command to use. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Oh, thanks you. Documentation says, using the change source folder command, you can have the option to relink offline clips in the media pool using the change source folder command, which changes the directory structure of each clip file path into a new file path based on a parent directory you select. This is mainly useful if you're relinking clips media that you've moved to another location, but that uses the same subdirectory structure as when the media was originally imported. For this reason, it's safe and fast command to use when relinking to a structured collection media on a SAN volume. Yeah, and I don't know if all of you saw that, but when I used the change source folder command, it did not update the file path. I don't understand why. All right, let's try a replace. So we'll go to series. Let's see, archive production series, Dark Ops Part 1, A roll, and let's just do a file name search for this. A009, C001, 101, 001. And we'll check the A roll folder. Oh, it's claiming it's not even there. All right, that could be the reason. Let's find out what's going on. So, archive, productions, series Dark Ops Part 1, A roll. A009C01, 109 RDC, A009 C001 101990001 R3D. There it is right there. What is going on? All right, let's try this. We're gonna manually do it. We're gonna manually rock this out. A009 C01009.
King Crook Gaming Head, what value does the A7S3 give you for production?
Mel, you want to take that one while I troubleshoot this?
Sure. In my opinion, I love it. I have it. We actually have two A7S3s, and we're actually going to offload one. But for me personally, because it has excellent low light performance, because it's a full frame sensor and low megapixel count, it makes it really great for shooting in challenging lighting conditions without really, sacrificing the image quality. And it also shoots up to, I think it's 120 frames per second. So a lot of times we like to slow down the video, and you can shoot the different type of log files doing that. Whereas if you're shooting with a Komodo, you're shooting with 6K, it's super heavy on the data, right? So you're going to be having to copy it over to a large card or bringing a hard drive with you at some point. I'm a big fan of the A7S3. And I want to say they're coming out with an update to the firmware in the next few months. I think in 2024, that we're going to see some new enhancements to it as well.
All right, everyone, I'm not going crazy. Did all of you see that? I did a successful replace, and then it still was pointed at the old directory. God damn. What is going on with DaVinci? You all saw that. I'm not going crazy. And then it went back to being offline and broken. All right, watch this. All right, so A001, 10, okay, that's it. A009, C01, 101.990.001.R3D. Okay, open. Okay, you see that? Look at that. Look at that directory structure. And now if I double click it, it's still offline, right? Right click, reveal in Finder. What the hell? I'm telling you, look at that. And then it goes back to being broken. What is happening? Oh my God. Black Magic, I'm doing a live stream here. All right.
Hey, Ollie, welcome. You saying that I'm echoing when I talk?
What's that?
That I'm echoing. My sound is echoing.
Oh, sorry everyone. Yeah, let me do this. I think you're maybe, oh, you know what?
I'm wearing headphones.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I know what's going on. I think I turned off noise suppression. All right, there we go. All right, try it now. Test 1, 2, 3. Mel.
Hello. There you go.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
All right.
Casey Ferris, welcome. This is awesome.
Casey Ferris. Oh my God. Casey, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today. So I don't know if you've been catching this, but just a bug here. It's not like if I go here, right click, replace selected clip, it's not replacing it. I don't know what's going on. So it shows that it found it, right? And then if I right click, reveal in Finder, unable to find media, and it's not updating the path. And then it goes back to being broken. I don't know what the hell. Let me know, everyone, if you've, if you have the same problems I do with relink and replace. It's just not working. All right, let's go back to, we're gonna try this, the chain one. Let's go to archive. By the way, Casey, I'm a huge fan. I love you. Huge fangirls over here. All right. Okay. Everyone, if none of you have, hopefully all of you have heard of Casey Ferris. He has this great analogy, great way of explaining nodes with pieces of bread, slices of bread. Absolutely love it. Love it. Okay. So archive, productions, series, Dark Ops Part 1, A-roll, and we're just going to say A-roll directory, and it should find everything. Nope. Didn't do anything. Oh, goodness. All right. So let's do this. I have an idea. All right. We are going to switch back to Dark Ops Part 1. Part 1. All right. Well, we know that this media is online. So, oops, wrong one. Wrong project. Sorry. Dark Ops. Let's see. Wait. Part 3. There we go. All right. Okay, so all of this is online. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so here's the thing that we were doing in the last video was I was teaching all of you how to use multicam. All right, now with multicam, there's different ways of being able to do that. one of the things that we ran into in the past episode was half of the production for that TV show was time code jammed, and the other half wasn't because the TC ones didn't arrive until the middle of the production. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with some clips that just simply weren't properly jammed? Is just do one scene at a time. So for those of you who are using multicam like we are on set, who are using a separate external sound recorder on set, creating multicam clips one scene at a time is going to be your best bet. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to continue with that lesson. I'm going to create a brand new timeline. Okay. And we are going to, let me hide this. We're going to go over here. And I just wanted to, again, remind all of you, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, you're going to be actually in your media tab. And then if you don't see the columns that you want to see, you're just going to right click here and then make sure that scene number and take number are selected. These are the columns that I like to have, is start and end time code, so I can quickly see if anything is properly lined up. As well as the camera number, the scene number, and the take number. And it does actually tell you whether or not there's a column on whether or not the audio is synced or not. What does it want to control? That's weird. Okay, so that's very important. So if we go, for example, into the B clip or B-roll directory, we have a situation here where a lot of the scenes and take numbers aren't filled in. So that's going to be the first thing that you do. All right, so let's go through a workflow for multicam with external sound. First thing you're going to do is you are going to import in your, sorry, I don't know why that's in there. Just me drinking coffee and Mel doing dishes. But so the first thing you're going to want to do is import all of your clips. This is my directory structure that we typically work with at Night Studios on our productions, on our TV shows, is I'll have an A-roll directory, a B-roll directory, an inserts directory, a C-roll. I'll have a separate directory for VFX. So the visual effects stuff is the like the bullet hits, the smoke from the guns, that sort of thing for the shootout scenes. This is the automatic gunfire from the helo, from the A-Star helicopter that we were in, and Gunsmoke. So I like to put all of those in a separate VFX folder. Under sound, I have a subfolder for DLG or dialogue. Here you can see that I went through the process of marking the scene and take number. Same thing for music. I have a separate music folder, ambience. Now we do work with a separate composer. His name is Yoran Garcia, and he's our composer. So he likes to have things a certain way, and we like to keep as organized as possible. So we do actually have a separate score directory, and he usually labels the clip names for each song that he composes is named after the cue number, time code, timestamp number for where it should fall. All right, so minutes, seconds, that sort of thing. So that's what we have. So first thing you're going to want to do is organize all of your clips for A-roll, B-roll. The A-roll directory is going to be our Airy Mini LF. The B-roll directory is our Red V-Raptor. And then in C-roll, that's going to be like the Red Komodos or the Ronin 4D, that sort of thing. All right, so under our A directory, we have basically you're going to go through here individually and label the camera number and the scene number. So, 1, and then I'll show you why you want to do that later, but define your scene and your take number. Again, if you're directing, if any of you are directors and you're directing your own films or shows, before I tell our camera department, which is Mel is our DP, before I say pictures up, and before she starts rolling or speeding, I will have the first AC or whoever is running slate to have the slate up in front of the camera before she even hits the record button. And you can see why, because the first thing that I see when I've got the clip open, I want to see the scene number and the take number. That is so important to me, is making sure that that's there. So here, if I flip between these two clips, you can see that we've got a separate scene and take number, and then depending on which camera, you'll see Nick cover the B or cover the A rather than having to rewrite it. So here you can see that scene 6A2, take 1, 6A2, take 2. Okay, so here, for some reason, it doesn't look like this was slated. I don't know why. But this looks like just 6A2, take 3. And you can use your tab keys if it's a lot easier for you. I know that there's a way, I think in the inspector, where you can define the scene and take number. We were trying to find this before. There was a way to do it up here in the boxes, and I realized how much that sucked as far as time is concerned. Oh, here it is. I think this is it. Is this it? Clip number? No, I don't see it. Where was that at? Metadata. Huh. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is it. Okay. So yeah, so what I used to do before was I would set them all here. I'd put in the camera number, and then you can switch here between different data. So, you can put in all of this information if you want. It's just so time consuming. Here we go, shot and scene. So this would be, scene 6A2 and then take 4, right? It's just, I realized, hey, look, let's just unhide the scene and take number in the column and do it here. It's just a lot faster. What's going on? Did DaVinci just crash? Okay. That was so weird. Did you all see that? I'm telling you, black magic. Just stop with the features. Just fix bugs. All right. Okay. So 6A2 take 3, which is weird because this one is supposedly, this might actually be, I don't know. Let's just call that 2B. Because based on the time here, that actually shot before this one. All right, so this looks like just a bad take. Now, I usually like to leave those in my media bin, the bad takes. You can delete it or remove it, but this is 6A3. Take 1. Six A3. And we can also highlight it and then paste it as well. 6A4, take 1. This sucks. That's the thing, is you really want to make sure that you talk to your DP or your camera op and make sure that when they've got slate in, get that focus right before hitting that record button. That way, the very first frame is the slate in focus. I will miss that sometimes. I'm either like not paying attention to my director's monitor, or I'll just just make sure you catch that, because it'll make your life a lot easier in post. Okay, so this is 11 Delta, take 1. 11 Echo, take 1. That's our house for some reason. Some weird stuff in here. All right, this is 1, 6, 1. 1, 6, 2. All right, so I won't do all of this with all of you. So what I'll do is we'll just handle. It looks like scene 6 is pretty well put together. So we've got 6A1, 6A2. We've got 6 and 1 and 6-2 and 6A and 6A2 and 6A3. So let's find the same ones in for B. So 0, 2, 4, 9. Let's see, hopefully. Yeah, those are not. Damn. All right. Let's see. Let's try date created and see if we can find those and match them up with date created. All right. So it looks like scene 6 was done on June 30th at 10:07, starting at 10:17. Okay, so definitely not matched up with clocks. Just problems you run into, everyone. Just got to work through it. All right, so this is camera 2, and then we'll do scene 6A, take 1. 6A, take 2. We'll do all of scene 6 today, so I'll kind of walk all of you through that again. Hey, Mel, you want to put on some ambient music for us?
Sure thing.
All right.
You
All
said
right,
it's
so
a proxy.
Oh, yeah. All right, so 6A1, 6A4. All right, I think we're good on scene 6. Yeah. 6A, 6A2, 6A3, and 6A4. This is B-roll. Clearly B-roll. All right, now we can go down to sound, and that should be there. There we go. There's scene 6. Okay, so if we highlight all of our beans, we can now organize by scene. And we should have them for each. So we have 6A, take 1. I'm sorry, scene 6, take 1. And then, let's do 6A for each camera. Okay, there's 6A, take 1. And then let's look for sound. I don't see it for sound for DLG. Am I missing it somewhere? Let's see. 6 and 2. Let's do, is there 6A2 on camera 1 and 2? 6A2. Take 2, 6A2, take 2. And then 6A. Okay, we have a 6A3, take 2, 6A3, take 2, and 6A. What about for BCam? Oh, 6A3 take 1.
Thanks for the feedback, Bankrupt Gaming.
All right, so we'll just use, I want to use 2 different cams. Let's see, 6A3, take 1. How about a 6A4? 6A4, take 1, 6A4, take 1, and 6A4, take 1. Okay, there we go. All right, so all you do is right click, hit new, and you're going to do a create new multicam using selected clips. And then because we don't have, oh, actually, yeah, the start time code looks like. Well, let's try it. Okay. So we'll say, I usually like to change the clip name. So I'll go S6A4T1. Angle sync, you can, if you have a good time code, otherwise, sound, if you created a marker to mark the sound and align it that way, we'll go ahead and try sound. I don't like to move clips to an original clips bin. And then we'll just hit create. Yeah, so that auto sync failed. All right, so let's try auto sync audio based on waveform. Okay, that's not working. Oh, that seemed to work based on timecode. All right. So now we should be able to right click, create new multicam clip using selected clips. And now we can do 6A4T1 synced. And yeah, it's having trouble with BCam. Oh, you know what? I know why. Let's see. We already synced it, so let's create. There we go. All right. So now go to editor. Okay. Now change that to multicam. All right, angle 1. Oh, looks like, there we go. Okay. So we'll just jump up here to when Slate leaves the scene. All right. All right, so, okay, we have our talent in frame. They're about to deliver their dialogue, depending on what angle you want to use. So right now I'm looking at this and I can see from the scene that it looks like Jeremiah has the dialogue first. So they're going to start out standing up and then they're going to sit down. So I'll probably cut right here. All right. So because he has the dialogue first, I might just, want to creatively start out with the angle on Nicole to get her facial expression. And then as he starts to deliver dialogue, switch to that next camera. Maybe to just kind of keep the camera. You see she's responding to him, right? So I can go here, maybe let her deliver a couple lines and then switch to her. Maybe while she's talking, shake it up a bit, get his facial expression, and then switch back to her. Now switch back to Paulie.
Thanks for joining, Casey. Appreciate you connecting with us.
Yeah, thanks, Casey.
Michael says, are you editing as well as coloring this project? The answer is yes to both. Alyssa does both of them.
Yep. So now, grab their hug. Maybe as they're standing up, I also flip to her. And then flip back to Paulie. And then we get him walking out of frame. And then we focus on the mom and the daughter walking away. All right, so now, one of the things that, see how quick and easy that was. Now, definitely, here's the thing. That, for some reason, sync should have worked when creating the multicam clip. I don't know, for some reason, and I think we discussed this in a previous episode, everyone, where, for some reason I'm having to go in there and sync the sound first before creating the multicam. But creating the multicam clip, there's that option to specify whether or not you want to sync based on time codes. You shouldn't have to do any of that. So I really don't know why it's acting so flaky lately. But yeah, so, if you're having trouble creating the multicam clip and you get in those error messages, the best thing to do, again, is, just sync your sound first and then create your multicam clip. All right. Okay. I know it's a pretty short one today, considering, usually we go 2 or 3 hours, but dealt with, worked through some bugs and issues. Let me check chat right now. Thanks, King. Appreciate having you. Oh, you're a new name. Welcome to the community, King. Thanks for sharing. I gotta run. Let's connect soon. Oh, cool, Casey. Editing as well as coloring. Yeah, yep. Thanks. Oh, Venezuela. Welcome. Is it Kake? KK? Cake? Nice to meet you. I'm so bad with names.
Oh, cool. King Crux said he found this channel from the TC1 video.
Chile. Oh, yeah, cool. Thanks, King. Yeah, I love the deity gear. We have, I want to say 2-3 packs of the TC1s. We also have, so that gives us 6 time code generators. And then we also have the TCSL1, which is their smart slate. And so for those of you who are interested, I have a great video out there that teaches you how to time sync code, time jam the red cameras with the TC1. I should probably do that for the Airy because the Airy is very finicky, and Mel can attest to this. So I'll probably do a new video where I show how to time code jam an Airy Alexa Mini LF, because at the time of making that video, we did not have the Airy. So I'll be making a new video on how to time code jam an Airy Alexa Mini LF. So that'll be coming. But yeah, there's a great video on that. And I also show you how to time code jam the Sound Devices Mix Pre 10 as well. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to continue to figure out the bugs with the relink and change source folder issue, so we can go back to editing the previous episode. If any of you want to reach out to me, DM me on Instagram. For those of you who did not know I have an Instagram account, I do. It's Alyssa Knight. It's instagram.com/Alyssa Knight. So I'm on Instagram. DM me there if any of you want to chat. If any of you have any ideas on getting around this bug or this feature or issue regarding relink and change source folder, please feel free to reach out. Let me know. I don't know what the deal is. I'm going to also reach out to Blackmagic and find out what the problem is. There's just a lot of problems, a lot of issues that I've had going back to, I think, version 17 of DaVinci Resolve, where relink or change source folder is just, it's flaky. It just let me know if all of you have the same issues. But it was good seeing all of you again. Willie, King, welcome to the community. A lot of people from different countries. Ollie's here. Awesome. Good to see you, Ollie. You, definitely, Casey. Thanks for. Did you turn it off and then back on again? That's a good idea. I should try that. Thanks, Casey. And then Mark, thanks for joining us again. Tony, welcome to the community. If any of you are not aware, we do have an insider community forum at Night Studios. So if you go to nightstudios.com, register for the insider community forum. I post there quite a bit. Also, my latest version of my node tree is there as well. So definitely register, take a look. And by registering as part of the insider community forum and signing up for our newsletter, you will have the opportunity to win a spot on the cast for a future TV show at Night Studios, as well as have the opportunity to come in and be a what's the word I'm looking for, Mel? We have a program where we work with universities and remote colors and editors. Internship. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't had enough coffee today, apparently.
What is happening?
I don't know. I'm like forgetting words. So some of you have reached out and let me know. Awesome. I'm seeing some subscriptions come in. So you can actually download my node tree. For those of you who are interested, actually, let me do this. Let me share my screen again, because I know this is node tree porn. I know a lot of you are very excited by. So you can download my latest node tree. So if I go over here, one of the things that you'll notice I do is I love to use groups. I always use groups, especially when you're talking about editing so many scenes. So I can add this into a new group. And I usually use internal because I'm the screenwriter as well. So I use a lot of screenwriter nomenclature. So internal, Jeremiah's house, entry. I already got one. Internal Jeremiah, entry hall. So now that that's in a group, what I'll do is I'll come over here, and this is my pre-group. Oh, you know what? It's important. I want to talk about this. So in my node tree, I actually did discover there's an issue with the HSV set. So you've got your noise, right? I do my noise reduction first in my pre-group. I do any sort of data transforms here if I need to, for example, because for you folks who are new here, you can see my project settings. I'm always in DaVinci Color Managed, and I use a custom processing mode with DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate. So grab a screenshot of this if you're interested. So it's my project settings. If for any reason Color Manage doesn't detect the camera, I will use IDT to manually specify that. I'll set my lumen balance on my hero shot, and then I'll go over to my clip, and this is the node tree porn that you're probably all looking forward to. And here is the latest version of my node tree. Now, I did discover an issue. For some reason, when you have HSV set, it will actually break your image even if you're not doing anything. So go to channels and channel 2. I noticed that when I had it set on China White, it was breaking my image. So I actually had to go in there and disable it. So for those of you who are using my node tree and you're seeing wonkiness in your colors and colors are getting broken, you need to make sure to actually completely disable that node, even if you're not doing any HSV sat on it. So HSV sat is simply just, if you've got it enabled, let me enable this. So HSV stat is just allowing you to adjust the saturation using your offset wheel. Okay, you see that down there? Anyway, so that's it. But yeah, this is my latest node tree. So again, if you're not using that, make sure you disable it. If you're using my tree, I've got my DCTLs here. I do a lot of stuff with DCTLs. But yeah, I've got my DCTLs here. For those of you who are interested in picking it up, that's mononodes, DCTLs, and you've got different DCTLs you can use, like saturation, density, brightness, sets, hue, if you want to do a hue shift. Masking, I do have my masking here, my depth masks. So this is my node tree. And then this is my spotlight. So for example, if I want to go in here and create a power window, for instance, and I want to just focus in on Jeremiah. I'll use my HDR wheels. I don't know why this isn't refreshing. Something's going on with my freaking DaVinci today. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah. And then once you set that, go over here to Loom, kind of bring up that as well. Now, obviously, you would have gone in here and balanced out the image. For those of you who are interested, I do use Omniscope. I know we have some newcomers to the channel. No, you do not have to use DaVinci Resolve, Scopes, Connect. So I use false color. Now the neat thing about DaVinci Resolve is Omniscope is you can focus on just one part of the image, come in here, and grab some of that goodness. Okay. Really cool. Love Nobe Omniscope. Big Omniscope girl. Huge fan girl. And then I can come in here, for example, once I handle the balance and all that fun jazz, I'll come in here into DCTL. I'll come into Sat and maybe bring up the saturation on his jacket. Okay. We've got our vignetting, our spotlight. Again, if you want to, you can kind of go a little more heavy-handed on him. And you can see. Skin tones, usually right in around there, between 40 to 50 IRE, depending on the condition. You could have a documentary and you might be at 70 IRE. It really just depends on the lighting, but scripted narrative, usually around 40 to 50. All right. Okay, then. Hopefully all of you got some value out of this live stream. And we will see you in the next live stream. I will be, again, posting 2 more videos this week. There'll be a new video coming out today on color psychology, as well as, oh my God, what's wrong with my brain today? Color theory and color psychology for digital imaging. And then we'll also be coming out with a new vlog. So I was super excited to be here today. Thank you so much. Until I see you again, take care of yourselves.